Hello friends, welcome back to series of lecture. This is the 26th lecture of this series, and we have to discuss in this lecture the elements of section 7, and we will continue with cause, motive, preparation, motive in particular, and differentiate that with the intention. Intention is the matter of IPC. Now let's see section 7 once again, read it. Facts which are the occasion, cause or effect immediately or otherwise of relevant facts or facts in issue, or which constitute the state of things under which they happened or which afforded an opportunity for their occurrence or transaction, are relevant. Now let's discuss this cause wala part. What is the difference between cause and motive? We can say that motive is direct, it is specific, but cause is not particularly direct but happens in the course of events. What this means, we will see and explain it. Suppose this is the point where the offense is committed. Cause can be here which pushes a person to do the offense, and motive is somewhere here which actually attracts the person to commit the offense. Motive is something which is the main objective, means the ultimate goal, under which it commit a wrong. And cause can be an immediate factor which may have been instrumental in making an attack. Let's see an example. Suppose A and B had a quarrel. Because of the quarrel, A went and killed B. Now here quarrel is the cause. इस क्वेरल की वजह से गुस्से में आकर उसने अगले दिन बी का मर्डर कर दिया. अब व्हाट इज द मोटिव? Quarrel is not the motive. Quarrel give rise to the formation of a motive, that is, I will take revenge. Revenge here is the motive, which is the attracting factor, which is the pulling factor why A may have gone and killed B. But the quarrel as such is the immediate cause because of which this A would have killed B. So killing of B by A because of the quarrel, our ultimate motive is what? Taking of revenge. So cause is that factor which pushes a person to commit a crime, actually, say immediately before the crime. अब immediately मतलब ये नहीं कि तुरंत पहले, it may be few days back also, there may have been some incident which is the cause for him to push towards the crime, and ultimately there may be, I'm not saying always, but there may be motive which may have resulted into the person being pulled towards the crime. जैसे RUC केस में, if we go by the trial court judgment, then this sexual intercourse that was going on, trial court believes that there was sexual intercourse by the daughter, may have been the cause to make this Talwar spouse, Talwar Dampati, Rajesh and Nupur Talwar, kill RUC and Hemraj. So that may have been the cause, but what could have been the motive? Maybe that honor, वो कहते हैं ना honor killing. So to protect the honor of the family, maybe that may have been the ultimate motive to kill. But the cause of that, they have seen the sexual intercourse act. They saw appearing that sexual act resulting into the killing of them on the spot, and motive was to protect the honor of the family. So that is the difference between the cause and motive. तो ये तो एग्जाम्पल लिया है मैंने ट्रायल कोर्ट का. बट जो जजमेंट होता है वो नॉट डिपेंड ऑन द अजम्पशंस। सो ट्रायल कोर्ट का रिवर्ट हो गया था, क्योंकि जो भी है वो एविडेंसेस पर बेसिस होना चाहिए। तो पर्टिकुलर प्रूफ मोटिव का एविडेंस नहीं मिल पाया। एनीवे, मोटिव एक पुलिंग फोर्स होगा जो आपको कुछ करने के लिए पुल करेगा अपनी ओर, और कॉज एक पुशिंग फोर्स होगा जो आपको पुश करेगा कि तुम ये एक्ट करो। जरूरी नहीं कि हर केस में कॉज हो, हर केस में मोटिव हो। एक केस ऐसा भी हो सकता है जिसमें कॉज ना हो, सिर्फ मोटिव हो। जैसा आपका मोटिव है कि किसी के मरने पर मुझे पैसे मिलेंगे। द मोटिव इज दैट इफ समवन डाइज then I will get money in succession. So you kill him. So here there is no cause, no quarrel, no immediate incident, but the motive was there, which pulled you towards the commission of the offense. So there may be a cause, but there may be not a motive. A person on the way, on the road, he had a quarrel with someone and he slaps that person. अब here the quarrel may be the cause, but motive on the spot ऐसा कोई motive form नहीं हुआ होगा, टाइम ही नहीं था। So there was no motive, but there was a cause. अब सपोज कोई कार पार्किंग केस में झगड़ा हो गया किसी का कार पार्किंग में, और उसको ए और बी का झगड़ा हो गया। अब what was the cause and motive if A lodged and false FIR against B? So cause was that quarrel for जो कार पार्किंग के लिए जो झगड़ा हुआ, that was the cause, and motive was to harass that person, कि मुझे झूठी FIR करके इसको हरेसमेंट करना है, बदला लेने के लिए, टू हरेस दैट पर्सन। तो जो उसका जो मोटिव है, उद्देश्य है क्या, हरेस करने का, किसी व्यक्ति को हरेस करना, तो वो इच्छा है हरेस करने की, वो अपनी तरफ खींच रही है उसको कि ये कार्य हो। और कॉज, उसकी उत्पत्ति कहां से हुई, उस झगड़े से। झगड़ा हुआ, अब उसकी इच्छा है किसी को हरेस करने की, वो क्या हो गया, पुलिंग फैक्टर हो गया। हरेस, मोटिव इज पुलिंग फैक्टर, कॉज इज पुशिंग फैक्टर। अब फॉल्स FIR कर दी इसने। अब ये अलग बात है कि अगर फॉल्स FIR प्रूव हो जाए तो 182 की प्रोसीडिंग्स शुरू हो जाएंगी ए के खिलाफ, because he has filed a false FIR. That was a different thing, but we are understanding the concept of motive and cause. So anything which is the pushing factor will be the cause, and anything which is the pulling factor which attract is the motive. And it is not necessary that in every case there should be a cause and motive. There can be only a cause, not motive, and there can be only motive, no cause. Still the offense may be committed. Cause is the pushing factor behind the commission of the wrong. Write down. Cause is the pushing factor behind the commission of the wrong, whereas motive is the pulling factor. Motive is the pulling factor. It is an ultimate object or goal which a person has in his mind of the doing an act, but cause is just an incident. Cause is just an incident which may have been the reason for a person being pushed to do that particular act. It is not necessary that in every case cause and motive both will exist. Either may exist alone also. Either may exist alone also. Now let's see what is the difference between occasion and cause. Occasion can be a whole set of circumstances, but cause can be that immediate incident out of those circumstances. Cause will be an immediate incident out of those circumstances. देखो, जब भी आप ओकेजन की बात करोगे, then what is the surrounding circumstance? For example, in Nirvaya case, we have discussed the occasion. In that case, the occasion was they caught the bus alone and there was no passenger, and the people were sitting there and they were drunk or they were drinking. So that is the gang rape case. In this case, that was the occasion. Ab, what may have been the cause for that act being committed? हम काउज सपोज कर रहे हैं इसमें, वैसे एक्चुअली पता नहीं है, क्योंकि काउज नहीं भी होता है इस केस में, तब भी उनको वही एक्ट करना था. दे आर सो ड्रंक एंड दे आर हैविंग दैट मच दैट काइंड ऑफ मेंटालिटी. But otherwise facts say they have done, accused have done some sexually wrong with the victim girl. They passed comments and they tried to touch her, upon which an educated girl, she resisted, and the boy also resisted, and they did not realize that there was no passenger in the bus, and these people are all alone and they are together. So they resisted, and this resistance may have been the cause, or they had been so brutal. Now they are not wrong. Resistance is the natural thing. कोई भी व्यक्ति करेगा resistance. But we are discussing here just to understand the topic, that cause and motive. So in this kind of acts, या other offenses also, जैसे कोई दादा या गुंडा जा रहा है और वो किसी को धमकाते हुए जा रहा है, धमकी दे रहा है, किसी ने उसका रेजिस्टेंस कर लिया कि ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हो, तो इन दैट उसको बुरा लगा, क्योंकि वो उस तरीके के नेचर है उसका कि आई विल टीच लेसन और सच काइंड. So resistance may have been the reason for their have been so brutal, and motive is what? What may have been the motive? We will not see the motive in such kind of times, rape cases, but if you get into the motive, their motive was to teach the lesson. Because of the act, the manner in which they did the act, that hitting, throwing of the clothes, and throwing them on the roads, and whatever else they did. So that was simply for teaching them lesson, because they have resisted. So badla lena, to take revenge, is one thing, and to teach the lesson is another thing. And because of that, they did all that crime. I am not saying that otherwise they have not done it. If they have not resisted, then also they have done it in this case. But we are discussing here simply for understanding the topic, just to compare between these two. So the occasion was the circumstances in which they get into the bus. Cause may have been the resistance, and motive may be to teach lesson or to take revenge, whatever. To teach lesson or to take revenge or whatever, or maybe to satisfy their own animal-like instinct, whatever you call it, that may have been the motive. So that is the difference between occasion and cause. Occasion is the surrounding set of circumstances, and cause is, अब जैसे एक एग्जाम्पल हमने डिस्कस किया था, वो जंगल में गया था वो रहने के लिए उसके घर में, और उसके घर में उसका मर्डर कर दिया. वहां पर ओकेजन तो था, अपॉर्चुनिटी भी था, लेकिन कॉज जैसा कुछ नहीं दिख रहा. मोटिव था कि चोरी करूंगा घर में. थेफ्ट वाज द मोटिव. थेफ्ट वाज द मोटिव टू किल हिम, बट देयर इज नो कॉज इन दैट केस. अब कॉज मे हैव बीन, सपोज while having their drink they had a quarrel. That may have been the cause that he killed him by knife. But in that example, we are not finding any cause as such. But the state of things were there, motive was there, occasion was there, and the opportunity was there. So write down, occasion is the larger set of surrounding circumstances. Occasion is a larger set of surrounding circumstances which exist in a particular case. It is more of a static set of circumstances. Static मतलब क्या? परिस्थिति जो थी उसमें कोई डायनामिज्म नहीं, परिस्थिति जो थी उसको आप बोलते हो occasion. So that is fixed. It is more of a static set of circumstances. The cause, on the other hand, is an individual incident. Incident which may have pushed the accused to commit the offense. It is something which happens at a point of time and will exist permanently. Will not exist permanently. Which happens at a point of time but will not exist permanently. And it does not exist permanently. That is an incident. Cause is an incident, but the occasion is a set of circumstances which existed. It does not exist permanently. अब जैसे quarrel, तो quarrel होता तो नहीं रहेगा, quarrel permanently तो नहीं होता रहेगा. It will happen. It will happen at a point of time. It is something which happen at a point of time, but will not exist permanently. So cause is an incident, but occasion is a set of circumstances which existed. और state of thing क्या होगा? State of thing होगा occasion से भी बड़ा. State of thing will be something which exists and which is repeated for over a period of time. That is a state of things. जैसे निर्भया केस में the state of things is that the private buses were used to flying on the roads, and in the night the roads are of like sumsan, and the people used to board these buses. These buses are not having the license. Still people used to board these buses, and these buses are having either tinted glasses or curtains. So these are the state of things. Occasion that they boarded the bus. They boarded the bus on that incident, on that day when the incident held, and the cause, the resistance, motive to teach lesson or take revenge, opportunity. It is something when they got into the bus and they were alone. So that is sufficient of an opportunity to commit the crime. So this is how you look upon any case, और वो सोचने पर समझ में आएगा by taking different examples. So हो गया ये occasion और cause का difference. Now let's see the section 8, motive and preparation. Any fact is relevant which shows or constitutes a motive or preparation for any fact in issue or relevant fact. You see, they are saying shows or constitutes motive or preparation for any fact in issue or relevant fact. Any fact is relevant which shows or constitutes a motive or preparation for any fact in issue or relevant fact. अब ये ध्यान रखना कि इस सेक्शन में प्रिपरेशन या मोटिव अपने आप में रेलिवेंट नहीं है. वो फैक्ट जो प्रिपरेशन या मोटिव को शो करे या कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करे, दैट फैक्ट इज रेलिवेंट. Means the word motive and preparation is not relevant, but any fact which is showing the motive or constitute the motive, and same for the preparation, then other fact will be relevant. Motive तो अपने आप में एक word हो गया. Motive is a word, but motive is manifested by what fact? That fact is relevant. You see, they are using the word so. So का क्या मतलब होगा? Something which is manifest. Shows का मतलब something which is manifest. So मतलब कुछ something जो बात कुछ दिखाती है, ऐसी बात जो कुछ दर्शाती है. दर्शाना. शो करना मतलब कुछ दर्शाना, कुछ दिखाना. कॉन्स्टिट्यूट मतलब क्या? टू क्रिएट. हिंदी में क्या बोलेंगे उसको? उत्पन्न करना. टू क्रिएट मतलब टू ओरिजिनेट. एंड सो मीन्स समथिंग विच इज मैनिफेस्टिंग, समथिंग मेकिंग इट विजिबल. अब जैसे ए हैड क्वारल विद बी, ए का बी से झगड़ा हुआ, एंड ए टोल्ड बी, मैं तुमसे बदला लेकर रहूंगा, आई विल टेक रिवेंज। अब ये जो सेंटेंस है, मैं तुमसे बदला लेकर रहूंगा, व्हाट इज दैट? दैट इज क्रिएटिंग मोटिव और दैट इज शोइंग मोटिव। तो ये वाक्य जो है, दैट इज शोइंग, क्रिएट करना मतलब टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूट। द quarrel created the motive, but the sentence you said is manifested that motive. The quarrel is the creator of the motive. The quarrel gave rise to the formation of the motive to take revenge, but the sentence you have uttered, that I will take revenge from you, ये जो sentence है, that sentence is manifesting the motive. Just a small point I am trying to tell you, that the shows and constitute are having two different implications. Shows is something which you are showing it, manifesting it, and constitute means something which creates. A person is going to benefit some property or money on the death of some other. A is going to get some benefit on the death of B. Now the fact that he get the benefit of money or property on death of B, that shows or constitute, that creates the motive, that constitute the motive. उसका मोटिव उस वजह से बना कि अगर मैंने इसको मार दिया तो मुझे इतने रुपए या इतनी प्रॉपर्टी मिलेगी. So that constitute the motive. अब if same thing he tells someone कि मैं तो उसको मारूंगा क्योंकि मुझे प्रॉपर्टी मिलने वाली है, then this sentence is what? Showing his motive. But what constitute his motive? The fact that he is going to get some money or benefit. So that is the difference between the showing and constitute. And these are very minor interpretations. Then we are having these words motive and preparation. Shows और constitute हमने देख लिया. Then motive और preparation. Now what is preparation? अब देखो यहाँ पे if you commit a wrong, you have to create a platform. You have to create a platform upon which you commit the wrong. You have to create a kind of platform or basis on which you stand and commit the offense. तो वो जो बेस आप क्रिएट करते हो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल किसी का आपको मर्डर करना है, मान लो देयर इज अ हाउस, दिस इज द हाउस, एंड इन दिस हाउस H and W lives together, and there are 3 servants. Now H and W plans to kill A, so for that they invite him for dinner. They invite A for dinner. Now H goes to the market and purchase the poison. H market गया और उसने poison खरीद लिया. A is invited for the dinner, and the 3 servants in the house are given on leave. उनकी छुट्टी कर दी गई. They sent on holiday. Now what is this? All these acts are preparation. You have made a preparation to commit the murder of A. So buying a poison, then sending the servants on leave, and they inviting for the dinner, that is all preparation. अब इसमें और भी हो सकता है, जैसे खाना बनाया, they cook the food, and they put poison in the food, that is also preparation. When this man came, they put the food on dining table, that is also preparation, that is serving the food. So the preparation is the making of the platform upon which you will commit the offense. And motive is what? Motive is the larger purpose. We had already discussed. Motive is the larger purpose for which you are committing the offense. हम क्यों मार रहे हैं? क्योंकि इसके मरने से शायद प्रॉपर्टी का बेनिफिट मिलेगा, या फिर मरने से शायद बदला पूरा होगा. They will fulfill their revenge. So that is why they are killing. The revenge or the benefit of property, or maybe the other reasons. But in order to commit an offense, whatever preparatory steps they are taking, that is called preparation. So write down, preparation is the measures. Measures means steps. Preparation is the measures taken by the wrongdoer. अब हम wrongdoer बार बार वर्ड यूज क्यों कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि ये जो एविडेंस एक्ट है सिविल और क्रिमिनल दोनों पे लगेगा। रॉन्ग डूअर दोनों को कवर करेगा वर्ड रॉन्ग डूअर, एक्यूज को भी कवर करेगा और डिफेंडेंट को भी कवर करेगा। प्रिपरेशन इज द measures taken by the wrongdoer so as to make himself capable of doing that particular wrong is the preparation. Preparation is 1 degree less than attempt. अब ये जो डिफरेंस है ये अभी एक्सप्लेन नहीं होगा, that we will discuss with the IPC, the difference between preparation and attempt. So now before get into the motive and intention, let's see what are the terms we have discussed not right up to now. First of all, we have the state of things, a set of existing circumstances over a period of time. Then occasion. Occasion is what? Occasion is the small part of that state of thing. Then opportunity is carved out of that occasion. Cause is some incident. Next is cause, and cause is some incident that may have happened, which may have forced that person to commit a offense. और ये सारे state of things, occasion, opportunity, cause एक दूसरे से related हैं। सबसे बड़ा state of things, occasion उसी का part, cause उसका भी छोटा part. Then motive, cause is the pushing force and motive is the pulling force. So these are the terms we had already understood. अब next है हमारा motive and intention before getting into the conduct. What is the difference between motive and intention? Now intention is a matter, more of a matter we have to discuss in IPC. So here we would discuss in brief. Intention is the higher degree of mind. It is the desire to produce a particular consequence. It is a desire to produce a consequence. And motive is what? Motive आप पढ़ चुके हैं, the larger objective to be attained. अब जैसे जो भी स्टूडेंट पढ़ रहे हैं, they are having the motive to become a judicial officer or judge. But out of those, how many are having the intention to become a judicial officer? Means what? Those students who are having a real desire to become a judicial officer. And how do they manifest their desire? How other person will manifest or observe? How other person will observe their desire? How other person will know their desire? By their study, their routine time. वो स्टूडेंट कितना पढ़ता है और कैसे पढ़ता है, सिर्फ कितना नहीं बल्कि कैसे पढ़ता है, वो स्टूडेंट कितना पंक्चुअल है, कितने डिसिप्लिन्ड है पढ़ाई में, एंड सो फोर्थ. डिसिप्लिन मतलब आप पार्टी फंक्शंस को, जब आपका रूटीन है, आपने एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम टेबल बना दिया कि इस मंथ में इतने दिन में मेरे को ये कार्य इस टाइम पर पूरा करना है, ये मेरा टाइम टेबल है. और उस टाइम टेबल के बाद आपने कोई गैप लिया तो डिसाइड कर रखा. अब बीच में कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आती है या फिर कोई फंक्शन से आप उसको अटेंड नहीं कर रहे हो, व्हाई? बिकॉज योर टाइम टेबल इज ऑलरेडी शेड्यूल्ड, सेटअप है. तो एक बार अगर टाइम टेबल बिगड़ गया तो वो पूरे होल टाइम पीरियड जो 15 या 20 दिन का आपने बनाया है, दैट एफर्ट्स विल बी लॉस्ट. सो ऑल योर these kind of facts will show your intention. For example, I have the motive that my students will clear the exam, but सिर्फ अगर motive होगा और desire नहीं होगा तो मैकेनिकली कोई भी टॉपिक उठा के पढ़ा दो, बेयर एक्ट लिया उधर ही पढ़ते रहे और बाकी का कोई एग्जाम्पल नहीं लिया, तो इस तरीके से टॉपिक कंप्लीट कर लो जल्दी जल्दी, इतना टाइम क्यों लगा है. So we are also having option of casual kind of teaching or studying. So motive और intention में फर्क ये है that motive can be examined by the question as to why the person want to do this, and intention will answer by the question how did the person do it. अब जो भी स्टूडेंट पढ़ रहे हैं लॉ, all are having the motive. Either they want to become a judicial officer or they want to perform good in the field of law. Your first choice is judicial officer. If you are not successful, then the next choice is maybe to become a good advocate or maybe to become a teacher or anything that kind of in the field of law. So that is the ultimate desire. That is the ultimate goal. But when you work upon the requirements to become a judge is hard work, scheduled in a particular well scheduled and trained direction. And if you not act accordingly, then you are having the motive but not having the intention. जैसे आप कितने घंटे पढ़ते हो, काफी लोग हैं जो 10-10 घंटे पढ़ते होंगे, कुछ का 6 घंटे में काम हो जाता है, कुछ 4 घंटे में ही पढ़ लेते हैं, कवर कर लेते हैं। और जिनको स्टूडेंट्स को हैबिट नहीं है तो वो शुरुआत में कम से स्टार्ट करते हैं और फिर धीरे धीरे स्लोली दे विल इंक्रीज देयर टाइम पीरियड स्टडिंग हैबिट्स। अब ये नहीं है जो 4-6 घंटे पढ़ रहे हैं तो वो सिर्फ 4-6 घंटे से काम हो जाता है उनका। दे विल कीप गो ऑन रिवाइजिंग इन देयर माइंड्स, क्योंकि खाली पढ़ना भी बुक्स नोट्स मैकेनिकली, उससे अलग जो इम्पोर्टेंट जजमेंट्स होते हैं, डेली अपडेट्स होती हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट हाई कोर्ट की, तो उनमें जो टॉपिक्स आप पढ़ते हो उसका रिवीजन होता है, इंटरलिंकिंग होती है, तो उसमें भी टाइम कंज्यूम होता है, 2-2 3-3 घंटे लग जाते हैं। दैट ऑल्सो केम इन टू द स्टडी टाइम ओनली, दैट गिव यू बेटर आइडिया एंड रिवीजन, एंड मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंटली दैट यू हैव टू गेट अपडेटेड विद द laws, because law is keep changing, and that by either by the amendments or by the high court or supreme court judgments. So write down, motive is the larger goal that one has to achieve by doing a particular act, and the question to be asked always be as to why the person did the act. On the other hand, intention is the desire to produce particular consequence, and the desire is manifest by the conduct of the person, and therefore the question to be asked is how did the person do the act. So that's all. बाकी का तो आप आईपीसी जब पढ़ोगे उसमें और क्लियर हो जाएगा। Now let's see the conduct. Section 8 का second para. The conduct of any party or of any agent to any party. So here we are talking about the relevancy of conduct. The conduct of any party or of any agent of any party to any suit or proceeding. Suits relate to civil matter and proceedings relates to civil or criminal both. अब जैसे एग्जीक्यूशन को आप सूट नहीं बोलोगे, execution is also a proceeding but that is civil, so proceeding means civil or criminal either. The conduct of any party or of any agent to any party to any suit or proceeding in reference to such suit or proceeding or in reference to a fact and issue therein or relevant thereto, and the conduct of any person and offense against whom, and the conduct of any person an offense against whom is the subject of any proceeding is relevant if such conduct influences or is influenced by any fact in issue or relevant fact, and whether it was previous or subsequent thereto. You see, the conduct can be a previous conduct. Previous to what? Previous to the offense. Or it can be a subsequent conduct. It can be a contemporaneous conduct also. और ये जो कंटेम्परेरियस कंडक्ट है, मतलब घटना के साथ साथ वाला कंडक्ट, वो हमेशा सेक्शन 6 में जाएगा। सब्सीक्वेंट कंडक्ट का भी कुछ पार्ट जो सेम ट्रांजैक्शन का पार्ट है, वो भी सेक्शन 6 में जाएगा। प्रोसीडिंग कंडक्ट का भी सेम ट्रांजैक्शन का पार्ट will go in section 6 and whatever remains will fall under section 8. अब मान लो right now the offense is committed, अब इस समय जिसका भी कंडक्ट होगा that will be all part of a same transaction and fall under section 6. फिर उसके बाद का तुरंत बाद का जिसका भी कंडक्ट होगा सेम ट्रांजैक्शन का होगा, that will also fall under section 6. उसके ठीक पहले भी वैसे ही that will also fall under section 6 same transaction. Everything which fall in same transaction that will fall under section 6, but whatever remains thereafter transaction over होने के बाद का कंडक्ट, ट्रांजैक्शन शुरू होने के पहले का कंडक्ट, that will all be relevant under section 8. They are not saying that these sections are mutually exclusive. जो सेम ट्रांजैक्शन का कंडक्ट सेक्शन 8 में भी फॉल करेगा और सेक्शन 6 में भी फॉल करेगा, लेकिन आप दोनों सेक्शन तो एग्जाम में मेंशन नहीं करोगे क्योंकि सेम ट्रांजैक्शन डायरेक्टली गो इन द सेक्शन 6, देयरफॉर वी वुड नॉट टॉक अबाउट सेक्शन 8. लेकिन ट्रांजैक्शन के पहले और ट्रांजैक्शन के बाद का जो भी कंडक्ट है दैट विल फॉल अंडर सेक्शन 8. द कंडक्ट ऑफ एनी पार्टी, अब देखो यहाँ पे लिख रहा है किसका कंडक्ट और कब का कंडक्ट. So it is written the conduct of any party or what, or the agent of any party. Conduct of the party or agent of any party to any suit or proceedings. To any suit or proceeding. The party to any suit or proceeding, उस पार्टी का कंडक्ट या उसके किसी एजेंट का कंडक्ट. Party to suit or proceeding and the conduct of the party or his agent means party to the suit or proceedings. Then in reference to such suit or proceeding or in reference to any fact in issue or relevant fact thereto. मतलब ये जो conduct है, the conduct of any party to any suit or proceeding or the conduct of any agent to such party, and the conduct in what reference? The conduct in reference to suit or proceeding, or the conduct in reference to fact in issue or relevant fact. मतलब उसका जो कंडक्ट था वो सूट से रिलेटेड या प्रोसीडिंग से रिलेटेड या फिर उस सूट या प्रोसीडिंग्स के फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट से रिलेटेड. द कंडक्ट ऑफ एनी पार्टी और एनी एजेंट ऑफ एनी पार्टी टू सूट और प्रोसीडिंग इन रेफरेंस टू सच सूट और प्रोसीडिंग और इन रेफरेंस टू ए फैक्ट इन इशू देयर इन और रेलिवेंट देयर टू. अब आगे एक और कंडक्ट लिख रहे हैं, यहाँ पर लिखा कंडक्ट ऑफ पार्टी और एजेंट, फिर लिख रहे हैं यहाँ पर and the conduct of any person an offense against whom is subject of any proceeding. अब ये किसकी बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर? अब यहाँ पर किसकी बात कर रहे हैं, विक्टिम की या एक्यूज्ड की? an offense against whom, और ऑफेंस किसके खिलाफ होगा? विक्टिम के खिलाफ होगा. so they are talking about the victim. फिर से पढ़ लो. and the conduct of any person an offense against whom, offense against whom कौन होगा? victim. therefore they are not talking about only the conduct of the party, क्योंकि victim को कभी पार्टी नहीं बनाते हैं. अगर कंप्लेंट केस हुआ और उसने कंप्लेंट फाइल किया है तब वो पार्टी हो सकता है. अदरवाइज द विक्टिम ऑफ क्राइम इज ऑलवेज कंसिडर्ड टू बी अ विटनेस. Victim of a crime always considered to be a witness. उसको पार्टी नहीं मानते unless he himself be a complainant. उसीलिए शायद विक्टिम के लिए जब तक विक्टिम खुद कंप्लेनेंट ना हो, उसको यहाँ पे जैसे पार्टी लिखा है और एजेंट, तो उसको तब तक पार्टी नहीं मानोगे. और देयरफॉर इस दायरे से विक्टिम बाहर रह जाता है और विक्टिम पार्टी में नहीं आएगा, और इसीलिए विक्टिम के लिए अलग से लिख दिया है। सो विक्टिम विल नॉट फॉल अंडर द टर्म पार्टी और एजेंट. Victim normally is only considered to be a witness, and therefore in order to include him also, the victim also, they are writing separately. So right here, victim of an offense. And the conduct of any person, an offense against whom is the subject of any proceeding is relevant. तो यहाँ पर victim के लिए कुछ भी नहीं लिख रहे हैं, लेकिन पार्टी के लिए इतना कुछ लिख दिया. Any party to the suit or proceeding, the conduct in reference to the suit or proceeding, or fact in issue or relevant fact. लेकिन victim के लिए ऐसा कुछ लंबा चौड़ा नहीं लिख रहे हैं. Victim के लिए सीधा लिख रहे हैं, and the conduct of any person or an offense against whom is the subject of any proceeding is relevant. तो इसको अगर हम शॉर्ट कर दें तो ये ऐसे होगा, and the conduct of a victim in a crime is relevant, and the conduct of a victim, and the conduct of any victim to a crime, and the conduct of any victim to a crime is relevant. अब इसके बाद कॉमा लगाकर लिखते हैं, if such conduct influences or is influenced by any fact or by any fact in issue or relevant fact, and whether it was previous or subsequent thereto. अब here they are referring to not only the victim का conduct, here they are referring to all these conduct. जितना भी conduct लिखा है उसके लिए कह रहे हैं कि if such conduct, ये conduct of the party और conduct of the victim कुछ भी, ये सब conduct of the party और conduct of the victim, ये सब सारा conduct, if such conduct what influences or influenced by what, influenced by what, any fact in issue or relevant fact. पढ़ो इसको दोबारा से. If such conduct influences or is influenced by any fact in issue or relevant fact, and whether it was previous or subsequent thereto. So that is understood कि conduct previous भी हो सकता है और subsequent भी हो सकता है. अब यहाँ पर अगर आप लैंग्वेज ध्यान से देखो, the conduct of any party or the agent of any party, the conduct of any party or the agent of any party, and the lawyer of that party will be considered to be the agent of that party in reference to the suit or proceeding. Lawyer को आप agent मानते हो. Any party or agent in a suit or proceeding, and the conduct is with respect to what? Suit or proceeding. जो conduct है वो suit और proceedings के reference में है, या फिर वो conduct उस suit और proceedings के relevant fact या fact in issue के reference में है. अब जैसे मान लो एक पार्टी है और सिविल सूट चल रहा है ए और बी के बीच. अब वहां पर मिस्टर एक्स इज द काउंसिल फॉर ए और बी के बीच में सूट है, और मिस्टर एक्स इज द काउंसिल फॉर ए. अब मिस्टर एक्स ने बी के लॉयर को ब्राइब देने की कोशिश की. अब बी का लॉयर मान लो वाई है. अब एक्स ने वाई को ब्राइब देने की कोशिश की सो एज टू इन्फ्लुएंस हिम फॉर द केस. अब सोचो हु इज एक्स? एजेंट ऑफ ए है. X is the lawyer of A, so he is the agent of A. He is under the conduct of bribing Y, who is the lawyer of B. So is not his conduct in reference to what? Suit or proceedings. He is trying to bribe Y so as to weaken his case, so as to make Y weaken his case. And is not his conduct with respect to suit or proceeding is such as influences the fact in issue of the case. क्योंकि जब दूसरी पार्टी का वकील अपना केस खराब कर लेगा तो आपके फेवर में फैक्ट इन इशू डिसाइड होगा कि नहीं. एंड देयरफॉर इवन इन दिस सिचुएशन व्हेन अ लॉयर डूइंग द ब्राइबरी ऑफ द अपोजिट लॉयर, इन सच सिचुएशन ऑफ द सूट और प्रोसीडिंग, that will also be relevant under section 8. अब मान लो द पार्टी, उसी केस में ए और बी के बीच में सूट चल रहा है. अब ए द प्लेंटिफ, अब ए fails to produce the evidences or deliberately absent from the court. So that is the conduct of A is the party, and the conduct is with reference to what? Suit or proceedings, क्योंकि suit हो रहा है. And the conduct of not being present in the suit or proceeding, is it not going to influence the fact in issue? Because fact in issue will not be proved. तो उस तरीके से तो अफेक्ट करेगा फैक्ट इन इशू को, क्योंकि अगर आप कोर्ट में आओगे नहीं तो फैक्ट इन इशू प्रूव नहीं हो पाएगा. So that conduct of absenting himself, that conduct of not producing evidences will also be relevant under section 8. So the conduct of a party or his agent in reference to the suit or proceeding which is either or under the influence, the conduct is either under the influence of fact in issue or relevant fact, or which actually influences the fact in issue or relevant fact, that will be considered to be relevant under section 8. लेकिन यहाँ पर कंडक्ट किसका है? पार्टी का, और अगर क्रिमिनल मैटर है तो विक्टिम का बस, और या फिर इनके एजेंट्स का. किसी विटनेस का कंडक्ट यहाँ पर फॉल नहीं करेगा, ये ध्यान रखिएगा. सेक्शन 6 से कंपेयर करो इसको. सेक्शन 6 में ए ने बी को गोली मारी और सी इज स्टैंडिंग एज ए विटनेस. He saw and he started running. His conduct will be relevant under section 6 as a part of same transaction. But such a conduct of third person will not be relevant under section 8. Section 8 talks only about the conduct of the party, plaintiff and the defendant, or maybe the conduct of the prosecution or accused, or here they are writing victim, but witness का conduct will not be relevant under section 8. Victim का conduct will be relevant under section 8, but witness का conduct will not be relevant under section 8. Now write down the summary upon the second paragraph. So write section 8 para 2. Section 8 para 2 declares the conduct of the following persons to be relevant. Number 1, the parties to the suit or proceeding, that is the plaintiff and the defendant, the prosecution and the accused, as well as the complainant in the complaint case. Then number 2, the agents of such parties, for example, an agent of the plaintiff or defendant representing them in the court. An agent of the plaintiff or defendant representing them in the court. कई बार क्या होता है, प्लेंटिफ या डिफेंडेंट नहीं आ पाते खुद किसी सूट में, तो वो अपने एजेंट को भेज देते हैं टू रिप्रेजेंट देम, एंड वॉट एवर टू बी डन that would be considered, whatever done by the agent, that would be considered that the plaintiff or defendant is there. Then it will also include, full stop, it will also include the lawyers of the parties. Then third point, the victim of an offense dash a victim unless he himself files the complaint is considered to be a witness, and therefore he would not fall under term parties. The victim's conduct, however, will also be relevant. And next paragraph, thus the conduct of any third person, that is the witness, will not be relevant under section 8. अब इसमें एक एग्जाम्पल लिख लीजिए. एग्जाम्पल फॉर व्हाट? फॉर विटनेस. द कंडक्ट ऑफ एन अप्रूवर. अप्रूवर कौन होता है? सरकारी गवाह. द कंडक्ट ऑफ एन अप्रूवर विल ऑल्सो बी नॉट रेलिवेंट अंडर सेक्शन 8. Will also be not relevant under section 8 because an approver is also a co-accused in the case, and therefore as an accused he is the party to the criminal proceedings. Hence his conduct should be relevant under section 8. But the moment he becomes a government approver, सरकारी गवाह, under section 306 of CRPC, he no more remains to be an accused and now he is simply a witness. उसी को बोलते हैं accomplice evidence, and now he is simply a witness, and therefore his conduct now will not remain to be relevant under section 8. तो ये आपका पहला पार्ट था कि किसका कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होगा और किसका कंडक्ट नहीं होगा। तो ये आपका पहला पार्ट था कि किसका कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होगा और किसका नहीं होगा। अब कंडक्ट का क्वालिटी इसके बाद आएगा, इन रेफरेंस टू सूट प्रोसीडिंग्स एक्सेट्रा। अब ये अप्रूवर वाला पॉइंट एक बार समझ लेते हैं। अब इन क्रिमिनल प्रोसीडिंग सपोज ए एंड बी टुगेदर हैव कमिटेड a crime and the prosecution finds against A that the evidence are not very strong, then what they will do is they will talk to B. अब पहले तो शुरू में the B is also a co-accused. A and B both are accused, but they will talk to B and B may convert into a government approver, सरकारी गवाह। उसके लिए बी को आप इन सेक्शन 306 सीआरपीसी में यू ग्रांट पार्डन, एंड आफ्टर बी हैज ग्रांटेड पार्डन एंड नाउ ही बिकम्स अ विटनेस एंड ही विल गिव विटनेस अगेंस्ट बी। सो एज लॉन्ग एज ही वाज विटनेस इन अ केस, ही इज आल्सो अ पार्टी। उसका जो भी कंडक्ट था दैट वुड बी रेलिवेंट, दैट विल बी रेलिवेंट। But the moment he becomes a approver, he has been granted pardon, so now he is no more an accused. अब वो witness बन जाएगा, and therefore now the moment he converts into the witness, a government approver or an accomplice. So the moment he converts into a witness, now he is no more an accused, and since he is not an accused, so he is not party to the suit or proceeding, and the moment he is not party to the proceeding, his conduct will not be relevant anymore. And the reason being कि सेक्शन 8 में सिर्फ पार्टी का कंडक्ट, उसके एजेंट का कंडक्ट या विक्टिम का कंडक्ट। तो ये जो को एक्यूज का अप्रूवर बन गया, ये अब पार्टी नहीं रह गया क्योंकि ये अब एक्यूज है ही नहीं, और ना ही किसी एक्यूज का एजेंट होगा वो, और ना ही वो विक्टिम है, तो सेक्शन 8 में तो फॉल करेगा नहीं। एंड देयरफॉर व्हेन ही बिकम्स एन अप्रूवर, इनिशियल ही वाज एन एक्यूज्ड, अगर इफ ही कंटिन्यूज टू बी एन एक्यूज्ड देन हिज कंडक्ट वुड बी रेलिवेंट, बट द मोमेंट ही बिकम्स एन अप्रूवर ही इज ओनली अ विटनेस, एंड वी हैव जस्ट रीड दैट द कंडक्ट ऑफ द विटनेस इज नॉट रेलिवेंट अंडर सेक्शन 8, and therefore the government approver, even if he was an accused earlier, now he becomes an approver, his conduct will not relevant under section 8. अब देखो ये तो पहला पार्ट था आपका, अब इसमें दूसरा पार्ट के लिए लिखिए आप पैराग्राफ। राइट, द कंडक्ट ऑफ said persons can be either subsequent conduct or preceding conduct, or even a contemporaneous conduct. However, in the cases of contemporaneous conduct, the matter will fall under section 6, as it is a part of the same transaction. Therefore, in section 8, such conduct preceding or subsequent will fall, which is not the part of the same transaction. In section 8, such conduct preceding conduct or subsequent conduct will fall, and which is not the part of the same transaction. That part will fall in section 8. तो यहाँ तक क्लियर है आपको? अभी तक 2 पॉइंट लिखवाएं, किसका कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होगा और कब का कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होगा, सब्सिक्वेंट और प्रोसीडिंग। कब का कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होगा, सब्सिक्वेंट और प्रोसीडिंग। और जो कि सेक्शन 6 में फॉल ना करे, वो वाला। अब नेक्स्ट इज कैसा कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होगा, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ कंडक्ट बी रेलिवेंट। सो whose conduct will be relevant you have seen, when the conduct should have been done that you have seen. Now what kind of conduct be relevant? The conduct should be such as in reference to the suit and proceeding, or a fact in issue or relevant fact, or it may be ultimately influences or influenced by the fact in issue or the relevant fact. Such a conduct will only be relevant. इसको भी लिख लीजिए आप नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में। In order to be relevant under section 8, the conduct of the party or its agent should be such as is related to suit or proceeding, or fact in issue or relevant fact. Also, such conduct or the conduct of the victim of the crime should be such as either influences the fact in issue or relevant fact, or is done under the influence of the fact in issue or relevant fact. ठीक, या तो आपने जो कंडक्ट किया वो फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट को इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहा है, या फिर आपने उसके इन्फ्लुएंस में आकर ऐसा कंडक्ट किया है, देन ओनली द कंडक्ट विल बी रेलिवेंट। अब देखो, अगर ध्यान से पढ़ोगे आप इसको, अब क्रिमिनल मैटर में बात करते हैं। जैसे क्रिमिनल मैटर में द एक्यूज्ड एंड द विक्टिम, वी टॉक अबाउट देम। अब एक्यूज्ड और विक्टिम, इनका कंडक्ट घटना के समय इमीडिएटली इन द सेम ट्रांजैक्शन के अलावा द कंडक्ट, सपोज द एक्यूज्ड रैन अवे, सपोज द एक्यूज्ड कमिटेड द ऑफेंस एंड एक्यूज्ड इज इन हिज हाउस, सेम ट्रांजैक्शन खत्म हो चुका है, एंड एक्यूज्ड इज स्लीपिंग इन हिज हाउस, एंड व्हेन द पुलिस केम टू हिज हाउस, accused jumps from the window and ran away. This conduct is not a part of the same transaction. मर्डर पहले हुआ था और आज accused को गिरफ्तार करने पुलिस आई और accused खिड़की से भाग गया। Now the conduct of running away from the police, the conduct of escaping from the police, is it relevant under section 8? Whose conduct? In this example, the conduct of the accused, and accused is the party, and his conduct is in reference to what? His conduct is in reference to he is being arrested, और उसको गिरफ्तार करना is what? Is it not a proceeding? Is it not the arrest of the accused is a part of the investigation proceeding? So is it not his conduct of escaping from the spot influencing the proceeding? And by influencing the proceeding, is he not influencing the fact in issue? And therefore his conduct is relevant. इसको लिखिए अब आप, right? The conduct of the accused in running away from the police is a subsequent conduct of a party, wherein he has done the conduct in reference to the proceedings of arrest, which is the part of the investigation proceedings, and which ultimately would influence the fact in issue, and therefore the conduct is relevant under section 8. Now और एग्जाम्पल देखते हैं, ये एग्जाम्पल आप अपने आप लिखना। मान लो there is a husband and wife. Suppose there is a husband and wife, H and W, and W died in the house. W उस मकान में, she died. Now after that death, when the police comes, they want to have the postmortem of the body. But H did all possible efforts, even quarrel with the police, that I will not let the postmortem happen. मैं postmortem नहीं होने दूंगा. He made all possible efforts to prevent the postmortem. Now the conduct of the H in this case to prevent the postmortem is relevant under section 8. And suppose he is an accused in dowry death in this case. इस केस में पुलिस ने इसको टॉरी डेथ का एक्यूज्ड बनाया था। एच का कंडक्ट इसमें केस में रेलिवेंट होगा, और होगा तो कैसे होगा ये आपको डिसाइड करना है। अब देखिए, द काउज ऑफ डेथ इज द रेलिवेंट फैक्ट इन द केस। क्यों डेथ काउज हुआ, दैट इज द रेलिवेंट फैक्ट। किसने मारा वो फैक्ट इन इशू है, लेकिन काउज इज द रेलिवेंट फैक्ट। अब नाउ व्हाट एच इज डूइंग इज ही इज ट्राइंग टू प्रिवेंट द पुलिस ऑफिसर from getting the postmortem conducted. Means he is trying to prevent the police officer from finding the cause of death. And his conduct in reference to the investigation proceeding, जो H का conduct है, that is in reference to the investigation proceeding, because he is trying to stable the investigation, and ultimately it influences what? Ultimately, it influences the finding of the cause of death. That is, it is ultimately influencing the relevant fact, and the relevant fact influences the fact in issue, no doubts. So, पहले it will affect the relevant fact. And what relevant fact? The cause of death, and so that will ultimately affect the fact in issue. अब एक और एग्जांपल देखते हैं, that there against A there is a suspicion that he has killed B his guest. B उसके घर में गेस्ट था, और ये सस्पिशन है कि A ने B को मार दिया है, and he has buried the dead body in his courtyard. अपने घर के आंगन में उसने उसको दफना दिया है। Allegation is that A has killed his guest B and buried the dead body in his courtyard, and when the police team came to dig the courtyard to find the dead body, A made all possible efforts to prevent them from digging into the courtyard. Now tell me, is it a relevant conduct? अब सुनिएगा ध्यान से, इस केस में A is the accused, so he is the party. So it is the conduct of the party. He is accused and therefore he is a party, therefore it is the conduct of the party. And in this, the conduct of the party is with reference to what? With reference to the proceedings of investigation. And ultimately it influences what? Ultimately it influences the finding of dead body. From where? From courtyard. And the finding of the dead body from the courtyard is a relevant fact. In the courtyard, the dead body was found, that is a relevant fact. And he tries to influence that relevant fact by prevent the digging of the courtyard. Ultimately, that will result into a influence upon the fact in issue, no doubts. But directly it is influencing not the fact in issue, but directly it is influencing the finding of the dead body from the courtyard, which is a relevant fact. And therefore it is a relevant conduct. इन points को आप revise करिएगा, because this is the minuteness you have gone in this section to understand. So the finding of the dead body in the courtyard is a relevant fact, and he is trying to influence that relevant fact by preventing the police officer from digging the courtyard. Let's see another example. In Sheena Bora case, the fact that she was dead. So the fact in issue is whether she was dead or not. Whether she is dead or not, and who killed her. दो fact in issue है. Whether she is dead or not, that is वो भी fact in issue है. And the accused in this make the statement that she is not dead, she is alive. और वो US में है. तो उसका जो ये conduct था कि वो मरी नहीं है, वो जिंदा है, और वो US में है, that is directly influence the fact that she is dead. So अभी तक हमने जो देखा, that is the conduct of the accused, the conduct of the victim, the conduct of the plaintiff, the conduct of the defendant, the conduct of their agents, the conduct of the prosecution. ये जो conduct है, these conducts are related to proceedings. It may be related to the fact in issue. जैसे संतोष सिंह केस में the conduct of the Santosh Singh to create that false alibi. The conduct of the Santosh Singh to creating false alibi by influencing the peon. Now this alibi is what? Alibi is a relevant fact, and his conduct with reference to the alibi. His conduct with reference to the alibi means his conduct is with reference to the relevant fact in order to influence the relevant fact and ultimately the fact in issue. उसका कंडक्ट था कि तुम मेरा फॉल्स एंट्री करो कि मैं 6 बजे आ गया था. So he is trying to create that alibi. So his conduct is in reference to relevant fact and ultimately that conduct is influencing the relevant fact of alibi, and thus he is ultimately influencing the fact in issue. So conduct आपका किसी proceeding से related हो सकता है, कंडक्ट आपका किसी फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट से रिलेटेड हो सकता है जो अल्टीमेटली उस मामले के फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट को इन्फ्लुएंस करेगा या उसके इन्फ्लुएंस में आपने किया हो, तभी जाके आपका कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होगा. बहुत कॉमन सेंस है कि कंडक्ट किसी व्यक्ति का किसी केस में रेलिवेंट क्यों होगा. जब तक उसका कंडक्ट फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट से कनेक्टेड ना हो, why should we conduct be relevant? My conduct in suit or proceeding will be relevant only when it is somewhere either influenced by or influencing the fact in issue or relevant fact. My conduct will be relevant only if it is influences or it is influenced by a fact in issue or relevant fact. My conduct may be in reference to directly to the fact in issue. My conduct may be directly in the reference to the fact in issue, or it may be with reference to a relevant fact, or it may be with reference even to the proceedings. My conduct may be in reference to directly to the fact in issue, or the relevant fact, or the proceedings. But ultimately, be it either of these, it must go on to influenced or influenced by fact in issue or relevant fact. For example, किसी व्यक्ति का जो कंडक्ट है, अब किसी व्यक्ति को A is robbed by B मान लो, अब after that he is crying, he is running to places, he is telling people that I am robbed by B. So here जो A का कंडक्ट है, crying and telling people and going to places, going to police station all. What is that? That is the subsequent conduct, and that conduct is influenced by what? That is influenced by fact in issue. That is not influencing something, but that is influenced by fact in issue because he was robbed. क्योंकि उसको लूट लिया है, इसलिए वो रो रहा है, इसलिए वो पुलिस स्टेशन गया. So his conduct of crying and going to the police station is actually influenced by the fact and issue of robbery. अब suppose in a case a woman has been raped and after that he goes to her house, and when she went to her house, when the mother and father asked something, she not replied, and she went to the room and locked the room from inside and started crying, and later on she told to her mother that what had happened. So what is this conduct? That conduct of a victim. This conduct is not influencing something. The conduct of victim is not influencing something, but this conduct is influenced by what? The fact in issue, the act of rape. तो influenced by का भी एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ मैं आपको कि रेप केसेस में, रॉबरी केसेस में उसके बाद का जो विक्टिम का कंडक्ट होगा, that will be always normally be influenced by the fact in issue. So therefore that is another example and therefore that conduct is relevant. उसी तरह से ये जो कंडक्ट है आपका, ये फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट के रेफरेंस में होगा. Ultimately it is influencing or influenced by fact in issue or relevant fact, or this conduct may be related to proceedings. जो अभी तक हमने एग्जांपल्स देखे थे वो इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग प्रोसीडिंग्स का, जैसे पोस्टमार्टम को इन्फ्लुएंस करना चाह रहे हो आप, इन्वेस्टिगेशन को इन्फ्लुएंस करना चाह रहे हो, बट इट कैन बी रिलेटेड टू जुडिशियल प्रोसीडिंग्स ऑल्सो, मतलब कोर्ट प्रोसीडिंग्स में कोई कंडक्ट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, a witness comes into the witness box to give some evidence against the accused, and the accused is standing there, and the accused starts sloganing, shouting, and he is not allowing the witness to speak. What is that? That is in reference to the examination of the witness, that is in reference to the proceedings of the examination of the witness, and is it not that he is influencing by that a particular relevant fact or a fact in issue on which the witness is trying to give the evidence. जिस तथ्य पर विटनेस बयान देना चाह रहा है, एक्यूज्ड किल्ला किल्ला कर विटनेस को बयान नहीं देने दे रहा, और जिस तथ्य पर विटनेस बयान देने जा रहा था, तो क्या वो इससे उसको इन्फ्लुएंस करने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहा था by disallowing the evidence? So that is again conduct of the accused in reference to the proceeding which is influencing the relevant fact. अब ये डिपेंड करता है कि कौन सा एविडेंस था, कौन सा फैक्ट इन इशू था, on which the witness going to or come to give the evidence, testimony. अब उसी प्रकार से और एग्जांपल देख लो, जैसे एक accused अरेस्ट होता है, and after the arrest he is taken by the police to some places where he pinpoints an object. An accused is arrested, and after the arrest he makes a discovery statement. For example, he had hid at some place the murder weapon, and he told to the police officer that murder weapon is at so and so place. Now he goes to the place to pinpoint the place where the murder weapon was found, and the murder weapon was discovered from there. Now the conduct of the accused with reference to the proceeding of investigation, cooperating with the police in pinpointing, that conduct of the accused is in reference to with the investigating proceedings, ultimately influences what? The finding of a relevant fact. Murder weapon तो relevant होगा, and therefore this conduct is relevant under section 8. जब आप section 27 डिस्कवरी स्टेटमेंट, सेक्शन 27 इंडियन एविडेंस एक्ट के लिए जब आप पुलिस के साथ जाकर पिन पॉइंटिंग करके वेपन डिस्कवर करवाते हो, तो वहां पर आपने एक सब्सिक्वेंट कंडक्ट किया है, एंड दैट सब्सिक्वेंट कंडक्ट इज इन रेफरेंस विद द प्रोसीडिंग्स ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, एंड दैट इन्फ्लुएंसेस द फाइंडिंग ऑफ द मर्डर वेपन एज सच, दैट इन्फ्लुएंस द फाइंडिंग ऑफ अ relevant fact, and therefore this conduct will be relevant. देखो इतना अगर आप ना भी सोचो और डायरेक्टली बोल दो कि हाँ इट इज रेलिवेंट, बट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू टेक यू व्हाई a particular fact is relevant as per the language of section 8. So we had seen the example when the accused is arrested, he made the discovery statement under section 27, then he accompanies the police, then this act is also relevant under section 8 when he is pinpointing. So write upon it. When an accused accompanies the police officer for the purpose of discovery under section 27 of Indian Evidence Act and pinpoints the place where the object is hidden, then such conduct of the accused is relevant under section 8. Subsequent conduct होगा ना, इस सेक्शन में जो स्टेटमेंट मेड करेगा वो that was not relevant, वो स्टेटमेंट relevant नहीं होगा. The discovery statement that he has made that the object is lying here, that statement is not relevant, but the conduct of pinpointing, दो चीजें हैं ना, एक तो उसने बोला कि the object is lying here, that statement per se is not relevant, but the conduct of pinpointing, that is relevant. The conduct of going to the place is relevant, but not the statement as such. और आगे लिखो. Similarly, the lodging of FIR Similarly, the lodging of FIR by the victim is also a conduct, subsequent conduct, and will be relevant under section 8. अब यहाँ पर भी the statement is not relevant in section 8. Statement जो आपने लिखवाया है that is a different thing, but you are going to the police station in the conduct of going and lodging the FIR, that conduct is relevant under section 8. इसको भी लिख लीजिए आप. That the statement made by the victim, a statement made by the victim as such per se is not relevant under section 8, but the conduct of going to the police station is relevant under section 8. अब इसमें जब आप explanation 1 पढ़ोगे, so you will find that the conduct accompanied by the statement, no? So conduct and statement both become relevant by the virtue of explanation 1, but in general, जो जनरल थ्योरी है ये है कि सिर्फ स्टेटमेंट रेलिवेंट नहीं होता, आपका कंडक्ट रेलिवेंट होता है. बट जब आप एक्सप्लेनेशन 1 पढ़ोगे आफ्टर वाइल, यू विल फाइंड that this statement also become relevant accompanied with the conduct. So इसको भी लिख लो. However, as per explanation 1, the statement made by the victim accompanies his conduct and explains his conduct of going to the police station. Therefore, the statement and the conduct both will be relevant. Both will become relevant. Now this will you understand when you read explanation 1. Therefore, the statement and the conduct both will become relevant. अब इसमें एक और पॉइंट है, उसको भी देख लो. If you have ever read 161 of CRPC, that when the investigation is going on, then the police officer examine the witnesses and record such statements of the witnesses. 2-3 witnesses हैं, the police officer examine them and record their statements. The witnesses here will also include the victim of the crime plus also the accused. Means police not only examine the other witnesses, it also examines the victim and the accused. अब victim और accused क्या है? Are not they the parties of the proceedings? Victim भी लिखा हुआ है यहाँ पे और accused भी लिखा हुआ है, so they would be considered to be the parties. So in that way, is it not the conduct of the victim or the conduct of the accused be party as per section 8, and the conduct of the accused and the victim is relevant under section 8. उनका स्टेटमेंट रेलिवेंट नहीं होगा, बट उसका जो कंडक्ट ऑफ मेकिंग स्टेटमेंट दैट वुड बी रेलिवेंट अंडर सेक्शन 8. डिफरेंशिएट करके चलिएगा आप. स्टेटमेंट में जो कहा वो अलग बात है, लेकिन पुलिस के पास जाना और बयान देना, या फिर पुलिस का आपके पास आना और आपके पास पुलिस के आने पर that conduct of speaking something will be relevant under section 8. So write down the conduct of the victim or the accused of making the statement to the police officer in the course of investigation will also be relevant under section 8. Now regarding conductor, what we have seen is whose conduct will be relevant. Whose conduct is relevant? Conduct of the party or the agent of the party. Agent, when representing in the court, will include lawyer also. Of civil में it is plaintiff and defendant, and in the appeal, the appellant and the respondent. Similarly, in the prosecution matter, that is, it will be the prosecution and the accused. Similarly, they are talking about also the victim's conduct. Victim party नहीं होगा, इसलिए victim का नाम उन्होंने अलग से लिख दिया है. The party's conduct will be relevant when it is in reference to the suit and proceeding, or it is with reference to fact in issue or relevant fact. अब मान लो offense करने के बाद, after committing the offense, the accused does something in relation to the fact and issue of the offense, maybe the relevant fact of the offense. Suppose after committing the offense, for example, suppose A murdered B, accused murdered B, and after committing the murder, A hid the dead body by throwing the dead body in the jungle. जैसे सीनापुरा केस में था, तो उस डेड बॉडी को या तो फिर कहीं जाकर जला दिया या दफना दिया, या throw it directly in the jungle. Then what is that? That is the conduct of the accused in reference to the relevant fact. Because finding of the dead body is a relevant fact. Finding of the dead body in the house of the person, finding of the dead body in the car of the accused is a relevant fact. And in order to avoid that relevant fact, the body was thrown into the jungle. Now this is a conduct in reference to what? With reference to fact in issue. Sorry, relevant fact. Similarly, Santosh Singh tried to create an alibi. That was a conduct with reference to what? A relevant fact. Alibi is a relevant fact. His conduct of threatening the at ILI, conduct of threatening the guard at ILI, that was a conduct which was in reference to the relevant fact, which was creation of the alibi. Similarly, you talk about the conduct of a person with reference to suit or proceeding. A party tries to stubble the prosecution or to stubble the investigation by not allowing the police officer to dig out the body buried in the ground, or say not allowing the postmortem to be conducted. So that is what? That is not in reference to the relevant fact or fact in issue. Now ultimately in reference to relevant fact or fact in issue तो हो ही जाएगा, but directly it is in reference to what? The proceeding. Similarly, if a party not appears into the court, then his conduct of not appearing is with reference to the proceeding, court proceeding. Similarly, if a party does not produce evidences or produces false evidences, then his conduct in reference to the proceeding in the court. If a party tries to bribe the lawyer of the opposite party, then that bribing of the lawyer of the opposite party is in reference to the suit or proceeding. So in that ways, कोर्ट में जो आपका कंडक्ट होगा, इन्वेस्टिगेशन के दौरान आपका जो कंडक्ट होगा, so all those will also be relevant under section 8. And your conduct after or before or at the time of the commission of wrong will also be in reference to, is relevant under section 8. That will be in reference to fact and issue or relevant fact, or in the court or in the investigation. During investigation, it may be in reference to the suit or proceeding. Now this conduct in reference to suit or proceedings or fact and issue or relevant fact or the conduct of the victim should relate to what? Should either be influenced by or it should influence the relevant fact or fact in issue. आप जो भी कंडक्ट कर रहे हो, प्रोसीडिंग्स को स्टेबल करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, लॉयर को ब्राइब करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, तो वो इमीडिएटली किस पर्पस के लिए है? फैक्ट इन इशू या रेलिवेंट फैक्ट को इन्फ्लुएंस करने के लिए. बिकॉज व्हेन द लॉयर गेट ब्राइब्ड, ही मेक हिज केस वीक and ultimately that will weaken the case of the prosecution or opposite party. Then ultimately it will influence the fact and issue or not. So if this kind of situation is found, then the conduct will be relevant under section 8. Now इसके लिए there are many illustrations. अब जो examples मैंने बताए, these are out of illustrations. और बाकी का आपका illustration से it will be more clear to you if you practiced them. Here what I emphasize is that the conduct is either of the plaintiff or the defendant or of the prosecution or of the accused, or it can be the conduct of an agent of them, or it can be the conduct of a victim. But there has to be some conduct of either of these. किसी विटनेस का कंडक्ट सेक्शन 6 में रेलिवेंट हो सकता है इफ इट वाज इन सेम ट्रांजैक्शन, बट विटनेस का कंडक्ट सेक्शन 8 में रेलिवेंट नहीं होगा अनलेस दिस विटनेस इज एजेंट ऑफ either of these parties or either the witness is victim himself or the accused himself, otherwise that will not be relevant under section 8. Now your witness wala point is very clear for you. Now you have to get into the explanations. The word conduct in this section does not include statements unless those statements accompany and explain acts other than statements, but this explanation is not to affect the relevancy of statements under any other section of this act. Now you see there are many other sections in this act where statements are relevant. और भी sections हैं जैसे section 21 admission. So there are many sections in the evidence act where statements are relevant, and therefore just to clarify what they are saying, that is the statement not relevant under section 8. That does not mean that it is not relevant in other sections. So वो statement is relevant under maybe in other sections, but so it will be remain relevant there even though it will not be relevant under section 8. The word conduct in this section does not include statements. Now conduct means what? Some physical act. Conduct refers to some physical act, or you can say some outward behavior. Conduct refers to some physical act or some outward behavior, and therefore a mere statement cannot say to be a conduct. Whatever I am speaking right now, it is mere a statement, and that cannot be a conduct. But the body language, the gesture, if I make, that can be my conduct. So that is what they are clarifying कि सिर्फ आपने कुछ कह दिया वो कंडक्ट नहीं होगा, लेकिन आपका स्टेटमेंट कंडक्ट हो जाएगा. आपका स्टेटमेंट सेक्शन 8 में रेलिवेंट हो जाएगा, लेकिन कब? जब आपका स्टेटमेंट इज अकम्पनीड बाय सम कंडक्ट and it explains that conduct. Then along with that conduct, this statement will also be relevant under section 8. Your statement accompanied some conduct and it also explains that why that conduct is being done. Now for example, suppose I say that I am having a severe headache. अब मैं सिंपली ये कह देता हूँ और मेरे को देखकर ये लगता ही है कि मुझे हेडेक होगा. Now that is only a statement. But suppose if I do some kinds of conduct, जैसे सिर पर हाथ रखना, उसको सिर को माथे को अपने को रगड़ना, rubbing my forehead, so my conduct is showing that I am having a headache. So something here, the conduct is accompanied by the statement, and is it not that the statement explains that why I am doing like this? And this is where the statement along with the conduct becomes relevant under section 8. जब conduct के साथ statement करोगे ना, तो कहीं ना कहीं statement में trustworthiness आ जाता है. अगर मैं सीधा बोलूं, हंसते हुए बोलूं कि मेरे को आज हेडेक है, तो कोई विश्वास नहीं करेगा. लेकिन अगर मैं उस तरीके की शक्ल बना लूं और सिर पर हाथ रखूं और रब करूं फॉरहेड को, तो उस तरीके से there is, by this the people were more believe that I am having severe headache. तो मेरे स्टेटमेंट को क्रेडिबिलिटी मिल जाती है उस कंडक्ट की वजह से, क्योंकि स्टेटमेंट मेरा एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है कि मैं ऐसा कंडक्ट क्यों कर रहा हूँ. एंड दैट इज वेयर द स्टेटमेंट along with the conduct be relevant under section 8. The word conduct in this section does not include statements unless those statements accompany and explain acts other than the statements. So unless those statements accompany and explain the conduct, तो उस conduct के साथ अगर आप कुछ करते हो then it will relevant. अब वो conduct ऐसा है जो आपके statement को explain कर रहा है, कंडक्ट के बाद स्टेटमेंट करते हो तो नहीं, दे आर सेइंग accompanying the conduct. Your statement should be simultaneous along with the conduct, and it should be such as to explain why you are behaving like that. जैसा कि हमने एक एग्जाम्पल देखा था रॉबरी का, दैट द मैन वॉज रॉब्ड, उसको चाकू दिखाकर उसका वॉलेट वगैरह सब छीन लिया किसी ने. अब दिस मैन इज क्राइंग एंड ही इज सेइंग टू ऑल पीपल पासिंग बाय दैट लुक आई हैव बीन रॉब्ड, आई हैव बीन रॉब्ड. So this is the statement. So unless it is accompanied by some conduct, for example, he is crying, that crying is also a conduct. Conduct, for example, he went to the police station to lodge the FIR, that going to police station is also a conduct. Unless that crying thing, that statement is accompanied by some conduct, and that statement explains as to why this man is behaving like this, that statement will not be relevant in this. But if it explains the conduct as to why the man is behaving like this, then that will be a relevant statement under this section 8. अगर वो statement explain नहीं करता है कि why this man is behaving like this, then this will not be, this statement will not be relevant under section 8. But अगर जिस तरीके से हमने एक एग्जाम्पल देखा था, that a woman has got raped and she went to room and she locked the room from inside, etc. Then her conduct of not talking to anyone, her conduct of crying, her conduct of remaining alone. So that conduct, and then she makes a statement that I was raped by so and so person. So that statement is otherwise not relevant under section 8. But since that statement explains her conduct of behaving like that, that statement also becomes relevant under section 8. Now see the illustration J for this. The question is whether A was ravished. The facts that shortly after the alleged rape, she made a complaint relating to the crime, the circumstance under which and the terms in which the complaint was made are relevant. You see here, there are two things, the conduct of making the complaint and the statement of the complaint. She went and complained to the police. Her conduct to going the police and the making of that statement. The statement is relevant because it explains as to why she is lodging the FIR. अब यहाँ पर स्टेटमेंट और कंडक्ट दोनों साथ साथ हैं और वो स्टेटमेंट उसके उस कंडक्ट को एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है, एंड देयरफॉर दिस स्टेटमेंट विल बी रेलिवेंट अंडर सेक्शन 8. The fact that without making a complaint she said that she had been ravished is not relevant as conduct under this section, though it may be relevant as a dying declaration under section 32 clause 1 or as corroborative evidence under section 157. Now suppose after rape she was died later on, then her statement that I was raped by so and so person, that becomes a dying declaration because she was died because of the rape. Or today she make a statement that he raped me, and tomorrow she appears into the court and there she makes a statement that he has raped me. So this previous statement of her will be used to corroborate the statement which she made into the court under section 157 of the Evidence Act. So corroboration के लिए use हो सकता है, dying declaration के form में use हो सकता है, लेकिन mere statement cannot be relevant under section 8. Now you see the illustration K. The question is whether A was robbed. The fact that soon after the alleged robbery he made a complaint relating to the offense, the circumstances under which and the terms in which the complaint was made are relevant. अब रॉबरी के बाद उसने कंप्लेंट किया, स्टेटमेंट जो है उसका, that statement will alone not be relevant in section 8. but the circumstances in which he is making the complaint matlab conduct. So the statement is accompanied by some conduct. So the conduct of going to the police station or the conduct of crying maybe, and accompanied by some statement, then that statement and conduct both will be relevant. The fact that said he said he had been robbed without making any complaint is not relevant as conduct under this section, though it may be relevant as a dying declaration under section 32 clause 1 or as a corroborative evidence under section 157. अब उसी रॉबरी की वजह से मर गया मान लो तो डाइंग डिक्लेरेशन हो जाएगा स्टेटमेंट, और मरा नहीं और विटनेस बन के कोर्ट में खड़ा हो जाए तो प्रीवियस स्टेटमेंट के फॉर्म में कॉरोबरेशन अंडर सेक्शन 157. अब इलस्ट्रेशन में लिखा है मेकिंग ऑफ द कंप्लेंट. मेकिंग ऑफ द कंप्लेंट मीन्स गो टू द पुलिस स्टेशन एंड लॉज द एफआईआर. बट सपोज वो कंप्लेंट नहीं करता, सिर्फ ऐसे बैठ कर रो रहा है, कंप्लेंट करने नहीं गया पुलिस स्टेशन. सो क्राइंग इज ऑल्सो कंडक्ट एंड देन ही इज सेइंग आई हैव बीन रॉब्ड. So that statement along with his conduct that is relevant in it. So illustration में तो सिर्फ एक example है. अब see explanation 2. When the conduct of any person is relevant, any statement made to him or in his presence and hearing which affects such conduct is relevant. अब मान लो एक accused है जिसने कोई ऑफेंस किया है, पुलिस जब उसको गिरफ्तार करने आती है वो पुलिस को देखते ही भाग जाता है. अब this conduct of absconding is relevant. Now he is an accused, a party, and he is influencing a relevant fact, and the relevant fact is finding of the accused, and in that way he is directly influencing the fact in issue, and his conduct is in reference to what? In reference to proceeding. Arresting to the accused is a proceeding, and his conduct is with reference to the proceedings to refrain the arrest. That is why he ran away. In that way his conduct is relevant under section 8. तो एक व्यक्ति जो accused है किसी केस में, वो पुलिस को देखकर भाग जाए तो वो relevant होगा उसका conduct section 8 में. लेकिन उसी समय उसके ठीक पहले, भागने के ठीक पहले अगर कोई स्टेटमेंट किया गया था उससे और वो उस स्टेटमेंट की वजह से भाग गया, then that statement will also be relevant under section 8. अगर वो स्टेटमेंट की वजह से भाग गया, then that statement will also be relevant under section 8. When the conduct of any person is relevant, any statement made to him or in his presence and hearing which affects such conduct is relevant. Now suppose there is some murder committed at some place. The area in which your class is going on, उसी एरिया में कहीं मर्डर कमिट हुआ है और वो accused मान लो क्लास में बैठा हुआ है. अब वो क्लास में बैठा हुआ है और पुलिस आती है to arrest the accused in the classroom. अब जो टीचर है क्लास में उसने अनाउंस किया कि मान लो मुखर्जी नगर में हुआ मर्डर, मुखर्जी नगर की जो पुलिस टीम आई है टू अरेस्ट द एक्यूज्ड. अब जैसे ही टीचर ने अनाउंस किया, देन वन ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स फ्रॉम द क्लास स्टैंड अप एंड रन आउट ऑफ द क्लास. अब दिस कंडक्ट ऑफ रनिंग अवे ऑफ द एक्यूज्ड इज दिस नॉट अ रेलिवेंट फैक्ट? इट इज रेलिवेंट अंडर सेक्शन 8. And since this conduct is influenced by the statement of the teacher, and therefore the accused ran away, therefore the statement of the teacher will also be relevant under section 8. टीचर के कथन की वजह से वो क्लास से भाग गया, अगर उसका भागना सेक्शन 8 में रेलिवेंट है तो जिस कथन की वजह से वो भागा वो कथन भी रेलिवेंट हो जाएगा सेक्शन 8 में. कथन मतलब स्टेटमेंट. When the conduct of any person is relevant under section 8, and then any statement made to him or in his presence, when the conduct of any person is relevant, any statement made to him or in his presence and hearing which affects such conduct is relevant. Now you see illustration number F. The question is whether A robbed B. The fact that after B was robbed, C said in A's presence, C ने A के सामने कहा, the police are coming to look for the man who robbed B, and that immediately afterwards A ran away. Why did he ran away? Because he heard the statement of C. He heard the statement of C. He said that the police came to arrest the accused, and therefore under the influence of that statement, this A ran away. And since the running away of A is per se relevant under section 8, पुलिस से बचकर भाग जाना तो relevant है section 8 में per se, then the statement because of which he ran away, that statement will also be relevant under section 8. Next आप देखो illustration number G. The question is whether A owes B rupees 10,000. The facts that A asked C to lend him money and that D said to C in A's presence and hearing, I advise you not to trust A, for he owes B 10,000 rupees, and that A went away without making any answer, are relevant facts. अब सवाल क्या है? सवाल है कि whether A owes from B rupees 10,000. क्या A ने B से 10,000 रुपए लिए थे? ये सवाल है. अब the fact that A asked C to lend him money, A ने C से पैसे मांगे. अब D वहां पे प्रेजेंट था. अब D ने कहा कि इसको पैसे मत देना. Don't give money to A because he has taken money from B and he has not returned. अब now on this statement of his, this man goes away without making any answer. So the conduct of going away without making any answer is relevant under section 8, and therefore the statement of D will also be relevant under section 8. Now let's see what is the difference between these two explanations. What is the difference between two explanations? In the explanation 1, the party done the conduct and he himself made the statement and which explains his conduct. But in explanation 2, in this some third person does the statement and under the influence of that statement, the accused or the party, he behave in a particular manner. In the explanation 1, statement and conduct are simultaneous. But in explanation 2, the conduct follows the statement. पहले statement होगा फिर conduct होगा, जबकि explanation 1 में statement और conduct दोनों साथ साथ होंगे. In this statement proceed the conduct, but here statement conduct are simultaneous. Then other one is in this explanation 2, conduct is consequence of the statement. उस statement की वजह से ही ऐसा conduct हुआ, जबकि पहले वाले में conduct is not a consequence as such. Here the statement and conduct are accompanying each other, so the conduct is explained by the statement. So first explanation में statement and conduct both are done by the parties itself. Second point is statement and conduct are simultaneous. Then conduct is explained by the statement. जबकि explanation 2 में here it is the statement of some other person and not of the party, but the conduct is by the party. Second point is first the statement comes from the other person, then the conduct will done by the party, and third point is conduct is the consequence of the statement. अब ये जो example पढ़ा था कि simultaneous, that person goes to the police station first, victim goes to the police station first, and then the victim recorded the FIR. So the recording of the statement comes later after the conduct of going to the police station. अब ये जो conduct है going to the police station उसी को आप continue करोगे. You will say that the conduct of going to the police station and recording the FIR. 3 conduct है ना, क्योंकि recording of FIR में 2 चीजें. I am getting my FIR recorded, that is my conduct, and the statement that I make, that is my statement. So जब आप FIR कराने जाते हो, then that conduct of going to the police station and the conduct of recording the FIR, that is conduct. and while recording the FIR, you are making the statement, and there the statement accompanies that whole conduct. Now we will see illustration A. A is tried for the murder of B. The facts that A murdered C, that B knew that A had murdered C, and that B had tried to extort money from A by threatening to make his knowledge public are relevant. Why? The facts that A murdered C. पहले A ने C का मर्डर किया था. The fact that B knew A had murdered C. Then the fact that B threatened A that if you not give my money, I will expose you. I will expose you means I will reveal the fact that you have murdered C. And A, because of this threat, kills B. Now what is this fact? Proves motive. जो पहले फैक्ट है ना कि ए ने सी का मर्डर किया था, बी को पता था, बी उसको थ्रेट दे रहा था, that blackmailing. So that is what creates the motive for A to kill B. That creates motive. जैसे मुझे कोई अगर मर्डर ब्लैकमेल कर रहा है तो ब्लैकमेल करने से अच्छा है कि मर्डर कर दूं. So that is where this fact reveals the motive. अब C देख लो आप. A is tried for the murder of B by poison. The facts that before the death of B, A procured poison similar to that which was administered to B is relevant. That is preparation. Now read the rest of illustrations yourself. So अब तक हमने कितने टर्म्स देख लिए? सेम ट्रांजैक्शन देख लिया. Occasion, opportunity, cause, effect, state of thing, preparation, motive, conduct. So these are 9 terms we had got done by that. And similarly, we would see other terms in other section. By this time, we have seen 9 terms. So that's it for this topic and this lecture. Thank you for watching lecture.